Regular meeting in Washington, Missouri, City Council, Monday, August 17th, 2026, 7:05 PM. Bear.
Here.
Briggs.
Here.
Coulter.
Here.
Heidrich.
Here.
Holtmeyer.
Here.
Patke.
Here.
Pepsel.
Here.
Selinchuk.
Here.
Please rise for Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will all the council members answer if they have or have not read the minutes of the council meeting dated August 3rd, 2026? Bear.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Coulter.
Yes.
Heidrich.
Aye.
Holtmeyer.
Aye.
Patke.
Yes.
Pepsel.
Yes.
Selinchuk.
Yes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Patke, second by Heidrich to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Good evening, council members. As you know, one of my roles as Economic Development Director is to market our wonderful community to different industries, both domestic and international, and to let those companies know that we are open for business. Ultimately, the goal is for those companies to choose to locate to Washington, create high-paying jobs, and I know it sounds corny, but ultimately improve our quality of life. One way that I try to accomplish this goal is by responding to requests for information, or RFIs, from one of our economic development partners, Greater St. Louis, Inc. For those of you that don't know, Greater St. Louis, Inc. basically is the economic hub of St. Louis, and what they do is they market the region and also the communities that reside in the Greater St. Louis area, including the city of Washington. Basically, what happens is whenever they receive an RFI from a company, they forward it to their partners, like the city of Washington, and with that RFI, they seek information for a project. That could be how many acres are available, what's the zoning requirements for that property, how many megawatts of electricity do you have, what size of natural gas lines do you have, how many millions of gallons of water can you produce in a day, et cetera, et cetera. You guys get the idea. Submitting an RFI, and I want to stress this, submitting an RFI is just the first step to business attraction. Submitting an RFI does not mean that a company is interested in coming here. It does not mean that we're a finalist on a project. And I can tell you, with the project that was submitted and mentioned in the paper, I have not received any contact from any company representative that is looking to locate here or anything. The newspaper article that was published was simply false. What I will continue to do, and if a project goes any further than the RFI process, it will require additional steps and input and action from City Council, as well, and importantly, as well as community involvement. Moving forward, I will continue to market Washington that we are one of the best places to live, and I firmly believe that because I've lived here all my life. We chose to raise a family here. I will continue to advertise that we are a great community, and I will continue getting your input, your cooperation, as well as the community. Thank you.
Aaron?
Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you, Aaron. Gang, quite frankly, I think all of us think there would be more people here tonight interested in the data center article the other day. Quick discussion about that. We were all surprised. I certainly was by the reaction. Our city government works best, you guys, when the flow of information and communication works. To make that happen, we all have to try. And on Wednesday, when the paper was here and wrote the article about the data centers, which, and, you know, I'm not blaming the paper at all, or the reporter. They have every right to do that, and they should be doing things like that, like holding us accountable. It is our responsibility as a city to, one, do the right thing, and I think we have a great start on that, you guys. But in terms of communication on that specific issue, I dropped the ball. I was slow, if at all, to respond to you guys after the 353 meeting to tell you, hey, one of the companies that may be interested in us is a data center. And that's, like my grandchildren like to refer to, right now, that's lava, hot lava. And understandably so, the concern for people, from people in our community, we don't have to look very far to see how big a mess the whole thing is down in Pacific. Quite frankly, we already have 2 data centers here in Washington. I don't know if everybody knew that, but they've been here for years. No problems at all. And like Aaron said previously, we need to stay open for business. And to do that, I need to do a better job of communicating with each and every one of you guys, because I'm the guy, the mayor comes to work every day. The mayor knows what's going on. You guys come to a meeting every other day, or every other week, excuse me, and yes, you're involved in our commissions and boards to learn, but that's just one area. And I will endeavor to do a better job of communicating with you guys, and ask my staff to do that too. We got a little bit of that discussion going in one of our departments that we just talked about. It needs to be across all of our departments to keep each one of you 8 informed, because you guys aren't here every day. So, with that said, we would like to move the citizens' comments after ordinances, and so that's all I've got to say. I appreciate everybody being here tonight, you guys, so if we could continue the meeting, please.
Did you want to talk about time limit?
About what?
Time limit?
No.
I don't think so, Sherry. We've,
Okay.
you know, there are very few people here that may want to get up and speak. And folks, if you're here to speak about a data center, that's your right. We'll give you 3 minutes, okay? But that will come in the public comment section later in the meeting, okay?
Ready?
Yes, please.
Approval and adjustment of agenda, including consent agenda. You have the collector's treasurer's report summary, monthly investment report summary. Moving number 4, citizens' comments, underneath number 8, commission, committee, and board reports, and we are tabling item 7H. I just need a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Second.
I'm sorry, who was the first?
Steve.
Who was the second? Thank you.
Philanthrop and Hydrich. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Thank you, guys.
Priority items, Washington Fire Department officers.
Is Tim here? Tim, do you want to do this? All right, he's not here, so I'll do it. Dear City Council, pursuant to the aforementioned ordinance, I am forwarding for your review the names of the officers selected by the membership to serve the Washington Fire Department through July of 2027. And before I read those names off, you guys, I don't have enough great things to say about our fire department. My gosh, they set the tone for volunteerism in our town. What would we do without them? So, Fire Chief Tim Frankenberg, Assistant Chief Mark Scornia, Deputy Chief of Support Blake Marquardt, Deputy Chief of Administration Buzz Eckelkamp. Fire company membership stands at 75, with recruitment and retention a constant priority. And if you have any additional questions, Tim says, please contact him. And I know they're always thinking about recruitment, you guys. So,
Motion to approve.
Second.
motion by Barrett, second by Coulter. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm not even going to ask for opposed.
Mayor's presentations, appointments, and reappointments. Franklin County Transportation Committee appointment.
Dear council members, I herewith submit for your approval the following for appointment to the Franklin County Transportation Committee as attendee and alternate attendee in accordance with the bylaws of the Franklin County Transportation Committee. Chad Pullman, our new city administrator, alternate attendee.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Patke, second by Hydrich. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, guys.
Phoenix Center 2 Community Improvement District appointments.
Dear council members, I herewith submit for your approval the following for appointment to the Phoenix Center 2 Community Improvement District. Rachel Leslie, term expiring August of 2030, and Chad Pullman, term expiring August of 2030.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Pepsel, second by Hydrich to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, guys.
Washington Area Highway Transportation Committee appointment.
Dear council members, I herewith submit for your approval the following for appointment to the Washington Area Highway Transportation Committee. Ed Menifee, term ending August 2029.
Make a motion.
Motion by Holtmeyer,
I'll second.
second by Bear. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Washington Historic Preservation Commission appointment.
Dear council members, I herewith submit for your approval the following for appointment to the Washington Historic Preservation Commission. Sarah Understall, term ending August of 2031.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Patke, second by Hydrich. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congrats, Sarah. Welcome.
Public hearings. Code change, home occupations.
Yes, good evening, Council. We have a discussion about our home occupation regulations that came out of a discovery that staff made so to give you a bit of context here, staff received an application for someone to operate a for-profit school out of their home in, I want to say, March of this year. And after reviewing that request, Planning and Zoning tabled said request and said, oh, well, maybe we should look at our home occupation rules to see if, they're really up to date and are conducive to how people operate in this day and age. And what staff pretty quickly found out is that in 2022, the Missouri State Legislature passed several bills governing quote-unquote home-based work and home-based business. And essentially what these state statutes said is that any zoning ordinance may not be passed regulating home-based businesses as follows. They cannot prohibit mail order or telephone sales for home-based work. They cannot prohibit service by appointment within the home or accessory structure. They cannot prohibit or require structural modifications to the home or accessory structure. They cannot restrict the hours of operation for home-based work or restrict the storage or use of equipment that does not produce effects outside of the home or accessory structure. And this one is key here. A zoning ordinance or regulation adopted pursuant to this chapter that regulates home-based work shall not contain provisions that explicitly restrict or prohibit a particular occupation. And our current home-based business ordinance restricts all of those things, especially the type of occupation that occurs inside of the structure. So just to give you some more context about what the state statute says, this statute here defines home-based business as any business operated in a residential dwelling that manufactures, provides, or sells goods or services, and that is owned and operated by the owner or tenant of the residential dwelling. And then it further says, cities do not have the authority to prohibit any quote-unquote no-impact home-based business or require any permit, license, variance, or prior approval to operate a no-impact home-based business. And so no impact home-based business, what that means, this is all from the state, their definition of a no impact home-based business. The total, so a business qualifies as a no impact home-based business if the total number of employees and clients on site at one time do not exceed the occupancy limit for the residential dwelling, and that comes out of the International Building Code and the International Property Management Code, and I've got a slide on that next to kind of define how that works for various structures. The operations need to be legal. They cannot cause a substantial increase in traffic. They cannot violate any parking regulations. They must occur inside the dwelling or associated yard, and the home occupation can't be visible from the street. Something that is important here is cities still do have the power to enforce building and fire code, health and sanitation, transportation or traffic control. They can regulate solid or hazardous waste, pollution, and noise control. So one of the most important limits that the state has established that we can regulate are occupancy limits, and those are in the property maintenance code. So this is a table here just showing what that looks like. So if your living room is 120 square feet, 1 to 2 occupants, so on and so forth. So this is just a guide about how we calculate these things for how we would enforce the amount of people that are allowed inside a home-based business. So with that said, because our current ordinance conflicts heavily with what the state statute has said that we can and cannot regulate, staff are proposing a number of changes to our home-based business ordinance, and myself, we worked with Mike Grissom in code enforcement and Piontech to write a set of rules that are compliant with the state statute, so we can actually regulate and enforce this ordinance. We had an incident a couple months ago where we had an individual who was operating a home-based business out of his garage, and we were not able to do much in that situation because so much of our home occupation ordinance conflicted with state statute. And we've been operating, since we found out about the change in state statute to be compliant with it, but because we are the city, we enforce city code, we don't enforce state law per se, it has to be in our code. We're recommending action on this to get our ordinance up to code. So those changes specifically, what they look like, replacing the current home occupation definition with the following. This is just from the state law, pretty much. An occupation carried on within, or that should say operated within a dwelling or accessory building by occupants of the dwelling and not exceeding the occupancy limit of said dwelling, provided the residential character of the building is maintained, and the occupation is conducted in such a manner as not to give an outward appearance, nor manifest any characteristic of a building in the ordinary meaning of the term, nor infringe upon the right of the neighboring residents to enjoy the peaceful occupation of their homes. And then to replace our section talking about specific home-based occupation rules with the following. Any business not a no-impact home-based business must register with the city. Each structure with a home-based business shall have a valid occupancy permit. Businesses are permitted to operate in the structure, rear yard, or side yard. No visible evidence of a home-based business. There shall be no visible evidence of a home-based business from the street. There shall be no nuisance. There shall be sufficient off-street parking. They should try to stagger third parties to minimize traffic impacts. These businesses shall only be operated by the occupant of the dwelling. The total number of people at the business shall not exceed the occupancy limit. They shall comply with state law and submit any forms necessary to ensure that they're complying with state law. And then regarding hazardous material, they shall notify the city as needed and comply with all laws. So with that, questions and comments from council?
Aaron,
Yes.
so an occupant's occupying a home, and you mentioned a while ago about the hours. You could have any hours you want, but you mentioned somebody working on something in the garage as an occupation. Would that fall under the nuisance law if there was complaints about the noise?
I mean, it would depend on, the severity of the operation, it would have to be continuous. yeah, it would just depend about what the specific business was. But yeah, if it reached that level, sure, you know, we always have the right to enforce nuisance law.
Complaint driven?
Yes. Yeah, and this, I mean, that's honestly, that's mostly how most of our home-based businesses are now, are complaint-driven, you know.
Okay.
So,
Well, with regards to the state statutes, I don't think there's a whole lot of questions we can ask. I mean, you've pretty much lined it out on what we can and can't do, whether it's fortunate or unfortunate, but I think as long as we stay within those guidelines, you know, I don't see any major issues other than someone thinks that their business is okay and the neighbors don't. Then we have a complaint issue, and then our code enforcement takes over.
yeah.
More homework for Grissom.
Yes. I will say, in researching this amendment, you know, researched a number of other cities who've already implemented, other Missouri cities who've already implemented this, and their code enforcement / planning departments are, frankly, not happy with this state law. You know, taking power away from the local government to be able to, you know, regulate certain uses out of home occupations. So.
But taking no action and continuing the way we are is
Yeah,
not suggested either.
I agree completely. So it's important that we get going on this to give Grissom the tools he needs.
Our code is in conflict with state law.
I completely agree, and I'm saying that no action is not an option at this
Yep.
point.
Right.
So, right.
They'll still be required to have a city business license to run their business.
Further questions or discussion, guys?
Public hearing.
Public hearing. Yes, it is. Folks, this is a public hearing on this issue. If you would like to speak on this, now's your chance. Please come up to the mic, state your name and your address. Thank you.
Make a motion, we accept it in the minutes.
Second.
Motion by Briggs. Did I hear a second? Holtmeyer. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's in the minutes.
An ordinance amending sections 400.045 and 400.155 of the Code of the City of Washington, Missouri.
Southrop.
Introduced by Sullentrup. Further questions or discussion, guys? Second reading.
An ordinance amending sections 400.045 and 400.155 of the Code of the City of Washington, Missouri. Thayer,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Sullentrup,
Yes.
Patkey,
Yes.
Holtmeyer,
Aye.
Pepsel,
Yes.
Heidrich,
Aye.
Coulter.
Yes.
By your vote, ordinance 3B passes. C, please.
Special use permit 1459 West Fifth Street.
Yes, good evening, council. This is a special use permit for 1459 West Fifth Street for an RV park / campground. This is the Elks Lodge, and they are requesting a special use permit for some RV spaces right here. You can already see on the Google Earth or Google Maps imagery that they are already installed. And so just a bit of background about this specific request, some history here. All RV parks in the city of Washington require special use permits. Doesn't matter what zoning district you're in. So they're reviewed on a case-by-case basis. So staff received an inquiry from the public regarding if the Elks Lodge was allowed to operate their RV park that you see on screen there. And they were granted a special use permit for the use back in February of 2021. Some of you were probably here at that time. However, special use permits must be utilized within a year of approval, and the Elks Lodge did not ask for an extension of their permit come February of 2022. So the RV park was built. Permits were not pulled for utility hookups, and the Elks was not able to provide adequate proof to staff of construction beginning within that year time frame from February of 21 to February of 22. So as we can see from some Google Maps imagery, the RV spaces were installed by at least April of 2024. The RV park has been operating for no complaints for several years. And this special use permit is really just to get them in compliance with our zoning to make sure, you know, they've got all the proper permits and are up to date. Staff see no issues with allowing a previously approved use to continue operating. It meets all the applicable special use criteria. and we recommend approval. Didn't hear any comments. Well, I should say I got a couple calls from neighboring property owners just wondering what this request was about, but once they, knew what it was for, they didn't have any comments. So staff recommend approval. Any comments, questions?
So now that they got the special use permit, all the permits are in, is that something they have to renew?
No.
So you won't have to do it ever again?
Yep.
So you're just cleaning it up more than.
Correct. Yeah, this is a cleanup more than anything else. So
It's 4 spaces, and it's only for Elks members.
Right.
Again, I have no issue with it, but I was under the impression in 2021 when we approved this that it was going to be done and we wouldn't be coming back. It wasn't a necessary, like to Stellentrup's point, once we do this, it's done. I thought we did that the last time, but apparently that.
I mean, that's correct. The Elks, they just didn't start on the project.
Okay.
And they didn't ask for an extension. So for example, the other RV park out on West Main, they extended their special use permit a couple of times. The Elks, they didn't ask for an extension. So that's why, they didn't start within a year. But this is making sure that they're up to code. So
They didn't handle their paperwork correctly, and that's why they got the hold of the Elks and made them go back and get a special use permit.
Further questions or discussions, guys? Again, this is a public hearing, folks. If you would like to comment on this particular issue, now's your chance. Okay.
Accept in the minutes?
Motion by Stellentrep, second by Briggs. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes. 3D, please.
An ordinance granting a special use permit for 4 RV parking spots at the Elks Lodge located at 1459 West Fifth Street in the city of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri.
Holtmeyer.
Holtmeyer.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No thanks.
No more discussion. Go ahead, Sherry. Second reading.
An ordinance granting a special use permit for 4 RV parking spots at the Elks Lodge located at 1459 West Fifth Street in the city of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri. Bear?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Stellentrep?
Yes.
Patke?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Hepsel?
Yes.
Heidrich?
Aye.
Coulter?
Yes.
By your vote, ordinance 3D passes. 3E, please.
Special use permit 2132 Highway A.
yes, good evening. This is a special use permit request for a temporary shelter at 2132 Highway A. This is an industrial property, and they are requesting this is Life's River. They are requesting an amendment to their existing special use permit that was granted in November of 2022. So temporary shelters, there's a definition for you on screen. They're allowed to operate only in industrial districts. First, their original permit was granted in November of 2022, and there were a myriad of conditions that were put onto that permit that the applicant has met following the opening of the facility in 2024. So here is a list of all those conditions, all 12 of them, but tonight we're just going to be talking about the first condition here. The applicant shall limit the maximum occupancy to that permitted by the city's building and fire codes, or up to 25, whichever is less. Notwithstanding the foregoing, the applicant may, subject to any limits contained in the city's building and fire codes, increase the occupancy for 30 to a period to not exceed 30 days. And so the request here from the applicant is to revise this occupancy condition of their special use permit to be able to house 40 residents and any staff they may have. The applicant has stated, given the demand for services, the facility's record and room to accommodate the increased occupants, they believe this is a reasonable request. There are no proposed changes to the exterior of the building, their operating procedures, or any other conditions of the special use permit. This paragraph here is just outlining some of the things in the building code that the occupants meet, such as toilets, parking requirements, things of this nature. Staff comments. The facility is operated with few complaints over the 2 years it has been in operation. The International Building Code outlines the facility has more than enough room to accommodate the 40 requested occupants. The proposed use meets all applicable special use criteria. We see no issues with allowing a previously approved use to continue operating, and staff recommend approval. Any questions?
Greg, is this yours? Is this yours? Yes. So, along with my question to you, and I guess it goes back up to Chief Armstrong, have you had 25 in there consistently?
My name is Greg Hope. Did I do this right? My name is Greg Hoperock, 500 Brayburn Court, Washington, Missouri. No, we've reached capacity. We are at capacity right now and have a waiting list. We've been at capacity one time, two times? Two times before. We have a waiting list right now to enter. We've asked for 30. We've asked for 40. The plan is to go to 30. The reason we asked for 40 is actually it's so we don't have to come back. Capacity is 49, is established by the architect. The facility would hold 49. 49 in that place would just be, I'm sorry, Chief Armstrong may be spending more time there if we try to put 40 people in there. We'll go to 30. We'll find out how well we manage 30 and how all that goes before we make a decision.
Will it house 30 no problem?
We have 30 beds in there right now.
Okay. Chief, has there been any disturbance out there at all that you know of?
No, nothing significant, no.
Okay.
It's been quiet.
Thank you.
I would like to take one moment of your time. I'd like to introduce my 3 grandchildren. We are babysitting, and since my wife wanted to be here also, we thought it would be a great opportunity to get to see local city government in work. So it's nice that they're going to be in an environment as opposed to what it was like 4 years ago up here. But anyway, I would appreciate your consideration for approval.
And that's the names of your grandkids?
Oh, yes. Addie, Hannah, and Ellery.
Welcome, ladies. Other questions or discussions, you guys?
I would just like to say, I spoke with Mr. Hoberock and told him this. I was a big critic of this at the beginning, not knowing what the traffic was going to be, not knowing what the calls were going to be, and in all honesty, seeing none, I'd say very limited, or seeing none, I see no reason why we can't make this special use permit and additional. So,
Yeah,
again, happy with what we're seeing, so.
I will agree with that. You got a very good report card.
No further discussion? I'll take a motion.
It's public hearing.
Oh, gosh, thank you, guys. Folks, this is a public hearing, and so now is the time. If you have, would like to address this proposal, please come forward. Thank you.
Accept it into the minutes.
I'll make a motion. Second.
Colin Trump made the motion, Briggs second. Further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
It's in the minutes. Okay. Go ahead, Sherry.
An ordinance granting a special use permit for a temporary shelter located at 2132 Highway A in the city of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri. There-
Briggs,
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Yes.
Action.
Okay. Further questions or discussions, you guys? Second reading.
An ordinance granting a special use permit for a temporary shelter located at 2132 Highway A in the city of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri. Fair?
Still yes.
Thank you. Briggs?
Yes.
Solentrip?
Yes.
Patke?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Pepsel?
Yes?
Heidrich?
Aye.
Coulter?
Yes.
I am proud to say that ordinance 3F is approved. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Have a good night, guys.
Ordinances and resolutions, an ordinance accepting the extension of a sales contract per the terms identified in the initial contract by 1 year at the amount quoted from Oakley Fertilizer, Inc. for the purchase of bulk rock salt.
Patke.
Introduced by Patke.
Good evening, council. This is a continuation of the current salt contract that we have with Oakley Fertilizer. They gave us a quote of $100 a ton, and I spoke to the guy, and he said that's pretty much going to be the going rate. It all depends on how far your proximity is from St. Louis. Fuel cost, barge problems. Bottom line is they're also a really good company to work with. We've had other contracts with other companies before, and you You have to call the company, they give you a delivery number, then you gotta call the delivery company, hope they got the delivery number, then set up deliveries. Oakley's a one-shot deal, one guy, one email, and he sets it all up. So we're gonna recommend sticking with this contract for this year. Keeping in mind that we probably are not gonna buy any salt on this current contract we're on, and this will be the follow-up contract actually for next year, and if we use 1,000 tons of salt this year, we probably still will not be buying salt 2027. So,
Questions, discussion? Thanks, Tony.
thank you guys.
Second reading.
An ordinance accepting the extension of a sales contract per the terms identified in the initial contract by 1 year at the amount quoted from Oakley Fertilizer, Inc. for the purchase of bulk rock salt. Bear?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Solentrep?
Yes.
Petke?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Pepsel?
Yes.
Heidrich?
Aye.
Coulter?
Yes.
By your vote, ordinance 7A passes. B, please.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the city of Washington, Missouri to accept the proposal from Vandevetter Engineering for the purchase of an odor and fog Titus Twister for the West End Lift Station.
Coulter.
Introduced by Coulter.
Why introduced by Coulter?
Can you imagine?
Very familiar with
Firsthand experience with that. Good evening, council. This is the odor control device that we discussed in our last meeting. We was lucky enough to have a demo of it, I guess is the best way to put it. We ran it for a week. We did notice an odor reduction, probably about 90%. You can't really remove 100% of odor, but 90% was a good run. They had to come pull it to move it to another community to run a demo for them. And as you might all know, the odor has done what it does best, and it came back. So we do know this device works. So we also have a little, kind of a little video of how the process works with the piece of equipment. It's a little animated version for you guys to see how it's installed and what it does. There's two different types. I mean, it's the same unit, but it works in two processes. One process is just adding air to the sewage. That is designed to remove what they call the hard pack on top of a lift station. That's the fats, oils, and greases that builds up. If it comes up. But anyway, that one you don't add ozone to because the working of that is you remove the pack on top, it removes the odor. What the ozone does, which is the generator on the second part of it, is the ozone encapsulates the odor that comes into the station so that when you don't have a pack, you still have odor. It takes that away. So that's why this device works so good. So
This is something we can use at the treatment plant also?
this is a device that could be added at Walnut Street Lift Station because we have odors there. And it could be possibly added at the treatment plant. The treatment plant is a big flow device, so I don't know, we'd have to evaluate that. But one device will work at West End. It would take 2 devices at Walnut Street because of the size of it. So with that, you would probably need 4 devices at the treatment plant. But for the cost of it, I've been doing this a long time. We've tried everything out there that they throw at us to try and combat odor. This is the only thing that I've come across that actually does remove the odor. So it's a good investment for the downtown area. It is funded through the downtown TIF. Tammy looked into it, talked to Mark Grims, and he said that does fall under the improvements of the downtown area because it does affect businesses and all that. So it is funded through that. So I wish the video would have come up, but
Oh, no, it's up if we want to play it.
Yeah, if it's playing,
Is there sound on this?
it's music. No conversation. See? So that's the mixing device that would sit down at the lift station. This is the process of it. That's the piping going into the station. That is the mixing system that drops down into the station. It's tied together. This one air is forced into the lower unit, it's set into a mixing system. It basically creates a vortex that keeps stirring sewage. What this will do is it'll eat the pack on the top from the bottom down, or up, and then it pulls it through and takes it out of the system, and you remove the odor of that. It's called a hard pack.
Give you any kind of life expectancy?
It'll exceed 20 years for sure. There's the only working parts is a blower and an ozone generator. With good maintenance and greasing the bearings will last on the blower 10 years, probably 50 before we even have to worry about it. It has a filter system. The filter system is a filter for the air conditioning unit for the ozone because it has to be cooled, and a filter for the ozone generator itself. Talking to the manufacturers, most of them out there, Branson has 8 of them currently in operation down there, and they haven't changed the filters on either one. They've been running for about 4 years, supposedly. So if you keep everything clean, the area clean, you're not gonna have those
Any
issues.
part of that gravity fed at all?
From that station, it becomes gravity at Stafford Street. And that's where the odors start being generated, because it's in a force main pipe until it gets there, then it's released into the gravity side. So,
Any noise issues?
it does have a little bit of a blower whine to it, but we're going to install the unit inside of the current building that's down at the end of West End, so it'll be in a confined building, so the noise will be, you won't hear anything, because there's no windows, there's nothing to relieve any noise out of it, so.
Can we call it the Coulter device?
Sure. Pardon me?
Can we call it the Coulter device?
We can call it whatever we want. It doesn't bother me at all. We can put a plaque down there if you want. I don't
Yeah.
That's not necessary.
Where all Coulter's ideas go.
I'll get one made.
Thanks. Did this one not run?
Oh, no, sorry,
Because this is actually the process that we're going to be utilizing. This one is the ozone injection, so it shows you where the little bitty, I mean, it is small, the ozone generators. What ozone generators are, they're an electric device that generates an electric wave out of it, yeah, basically. Same process with air in it, but with this, it adds the ozone into it, which creates the ultimate odor removal from flowing odor. So, which we get, everything comes to this station, comes from the west end of town. Then it ends up getting moved down to Palm Street, then it moves down to the treatment plant. Industrial landfill comes to this end.
You tried this already, right?
Yes. Yeah. About what, 3 weeks ago? Put it in, started it up, ran it a week, and it took it about a day, and you could notice that by 3 days in. I went down there every day and sat in the parking lot, walked the street, didn't smell anything. Mike, I think, didn't smell any.
I could tell when you took it out.
Yeah, but then well, we knew that was gonna happen, but pulled it out, so that was the evidence that it worked, so, yeah. But anyway, that's the device, so.
Thanks, Kevin.
Further questions or discussions, you guys?
Pretty hard to vote no after proving it works, right?
Second reading, Sherry.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the city of Washington, Missouri to accept the proposal from Vanaventer Engineering for the purchase of an odor and fog control Titus Twister for the West End lift station. Fair?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Selentrip?
Yes.
Petke?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Capsule?
Yes.
Tydrich?
Aye.
Coulter?
Yes.
By your vote, ordinance 7B passes. C, please.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a first amendment to exclusive franchise agreement for the collection, hauling, and disposal of residential municipal solid waste and recyclables in the city of Washington, Missouri.
Patke.
Introduced by Patke.
Good evening, council. As we discussed at the last meeting, Waste Connections will be changing the trash collection schedule to now be collecting only on Tuesdays, starting September 1st. They'll be picking up the entire city on Tuesdays weekly. Recycling will be every other week, So instead of twice a month, it'll be every other week. Everything east of Highway 47 will be 1 week. Everything west of Highway 47 will be the next week. With that bulk pickup, instead of being the last pickup of each month, 2 items, it'll be 1 item each pickup, which will fall on the same day as your recycling. So it'll still equal at least 2 items per month, but it'll be 1 at a time every other week. The only thing that required an amendment was that last piece, the bulk collection, because that was specifically called out in the contract. So this is just changing
Is
it
that
to
every Tuesday?
Every Tuesday will be trash collection. Every other Tuesday will be recycling and 1 bulk item.
So have all their trucks in town on one day?
Correct.
How many will that be?
They said anywhere from 6 to 8 trucks.
When there's a problem, it'll be the next day pickup?
What?
If there's a problem, be a next day pickup?
It'll be Thursday pickup. So
Thursday.
if there's any problems, call them in, let them know. Thursday, they will be back in town to do any missed or anything that went wrong.
And then Tuesday moves when there's a Monday holiday.
If there's a holiday on a Monday or Tuesday, it'll move one day.
And they're gonna put out a lot of information and pamphlets and all that.
We already
good
have a
stuff.
bunch up on our website. We put stuff up on social media. They have mailed out a flyer that's gonna go out. We'll have something in our next utility billing in September, with a calendar and schedule. But you can find that flyer on our website now. If you go to the website, right at the top, there's a big alert that says trash schedule change, all that sort of stuff, so.
It's also in your packet.
Yeah, it's in here.
So
Did they, I think they said too, if they have a truck breakdown that day, the rest of the trucks should still get the pickup done that
The
day.
whole idea of this is that
Right.
there should be less missed
So-
pickups, you know, especially those big sections that they couldn't get. If they had a miss, or a truck down now, they're missing whole subdivisions. The rest of the trucks should be able to handle that gap if one truck goes down. Yes.
Further questions or discussion for Charles, you guys? Thanks, Charles. Second reading?
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a First Amendment to exclusive franchise agreement for the collection, hauling, and disposal of residential municipal solid waste and recyclables in the city of Washington, Missouri. Fair?
yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Solotrik? Pecky?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Pepsel?
Yes.
Heidrich?
Aye.
Coulter?
Yes.
By your vote, ordinance 7C passes. D, please.
An ordinance authorizing and directing execution of a supplemental agreement number 2 by and between the city of Washington, Missouri and CDG Engineers, Inc. for engineering services for the Front Street ADA Improvements Project, STBG 6400629, and amend the 2026 budget.
Holtmeyer.
Introduced by Holtmeyer.
So this is a supplemental agreement with our consultant CDG for the Front Street design. This should get us finished up with design by the end of the year so that by the end of the year, we can go out to bid and have this ready for construction early in 2027. Portion of this is for design changes, so things that changed with the Front Street utility burial project. We had to move some things around with the Front Street project. Also some stormwater improvements. And then I think about a year ago, we talked about this design change here, adding a park area east of the train depot there, moving that parking up to the street, making it consistent with what you see to the east today. So keeping all that parallel, parking on the north side, creating a nice park space there. That the parks, you know, had plans for a little pavilion there you can see, and some benches and stuff, so people can kind of sit there, watch the trains in the river and stuff. So that's incorporating this as well.
Is the train depot still remodeling their?
They are still planning on doing that. They're still kind of working with us, trying to get the lease worked out to the west side. They needed some additional space from us, so we're trying to work that out with UP, but they're still planning on it. I don't know when exactly their construction will be, if it'll line up with our project or not.
Thank you.
Charles, at some point, the conversation was that they would be at a diagonal in there in additional spaces, but this ends up being, I guess, green space, and it helps us.
Yeah, we talked about the diagonal. We looked at it. It was like, I can't remember now. It was like 1 or 2, I think it was like 1 additional
That's
parking
all it ended up
space.
being,
So
was
for
more.
1 additional space, you were gonna eat up all that area. It made more sense as staff, unless you guys have a different opinion, to utilize that as green park space as opposed to gaining one more parking spot, so.
Put a plaque in MS4, I like that too.
It'll, we can definitely get credit for it, so.
Now that we're going to be redoing Front Street, how far down is it going to Market?
It's from Jefferson to Stafford.
Okay. Any chance of taking the bump outs out of there?
The bump outs on
Front Street.
Oh, on Front Street down at, on the west end by like Meerschaum and that?
Yeah.
We are taking a couple out. Can't take them all out. There's, one that's needed for the new transformer and switchgear that we just put in for the burial project. There's one other one, I believe, that's needed, but we are taking a few out, yes.
The more that we can take out, the more parking we have down there.
Now that we're taking some of the poles down, we're able to get rid of a couple, so yes.
Okay.
Further questions or discussion, guys? Second reading.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a supplemental agreement number 2 by and between the City of Washington, Missouri and CDG Engineers, Inc. for engineering services for the Front Street ADA Improvements Project, STBG 6400629, and amend the 2026 budget. Bear?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Soloncher?
Yes.
Patke?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Pepsel?
Yes.
Heidrich?
Aye.
Coulter?
Yes.
By your vote, ordinance 7D passes. E, please.
An ordinance authorizing, and directing the execution of supplemental agreement number 2 by and between the City of Washington, Missouri and HDR Engineering, Inc. for professional services for the Highway 100 International Avenue intersection improvement and Phoenix Center Drive relocation project, CMAQ 6400628, and amend the 2026 budget.
Solontrop.
Introduced by Solinger.
This is our agreement for design consultant with HDR Engineering to amend their contract to include some additional paving on the Rabbit Trail International project, both on the north side, but majority of this comes from adding paving on the south side. We weren't going to do anything on the south side. That pavement condition is falling apart, so we're going to repave that basically up to the middle where kind of Planet Fitness and the bank lots come together there, so we're gonna repave that whole stretch there and make it nice as well.
That part of this program?
Yep.
It needs it.
So since we'll be there, be paving the north side, we figured it made sense to pave the south side.
The other side. That'd be great.
Further questions or discussions, guys?
I thought Charles did all this for Hydrich and he didn't even introduce it, so not sure.
No, Hydrich wanted everything on the south side.
Hey, wait a minute.
It is the south side.
Some of it is.
No, majority's all on the north side. What I wanted on the south side's not going.
Okay. Second reading.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a supplemental agreement number 2 by and between the City of Washington, Missouri and HDR Engineering, Inc. for professional services for the Highway 100 International Avenue intersection improvement and Phoenix Center Drive relocation project, CMAQ 6400628, and amend the 2026 budget. Bear?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Solontrop?
Yes.
Patke?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Pepsel?
Yes.
Heidrich?
Aye.
Coulter?
Yes.
By your vote, ordinance 7E passes. F, please.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of facilities easement agreement by and between the City of Washington, Missouri and Southwestern Bell Telephone Company doing business as AT&T Missouri.
Solontrop.
Introduced by Solinger.
So AT&T, as you can see there in red, wants a small piece of utility easement to put another piece of equipment next to ones they already have there. So you can kind of see on the right side there, they already have a utility easement. This is basically just kind of squaring it up. We talked with the fire department, with Chief. He's got no concerns with any future renovations or projects they would want to do there, and this taking, space away from them, so.
Questions? Discussion? Second reading.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a facilities easement agreement by and between the city of Washington, Missouri and Southwestern Bell Telephone Company doing business as ATT Missouri. Baird?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Yes.
Waltrip? Petke?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Capsule?
Yes.
Heidrich?
Aye.
Coulter?
Yes.
By your vote, ordinance 7F passes. G, please.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a contract agreement by and between the city of Washington, Missouri and Washington Boat Club and Echo Camp Electric Company for a new boat dock light along the Missouri River.
Bear.
Introduced by Bear.
So the boat club approached me about wanting to put back a light that they had down there, I guess a couple years ago. The pole fell down. They never had it replaced. They want to put a new pole up, a new light. Since that is on city property, they need this contract with us to do the work. It's similar to the contract we had when they wanted to stabilize the bank and had KJU put some rock in there, basically saying that they'll have Echo Camp do the work and the boat club will pay for the improvements and pay for the light to stay on. Have no issues with them putting it back where it was.
Who's paying for the light?
The boat club,
Okay.
and continuing to pay for, the monthly bill.
Thank you.
Further discussion or questions? Second reading.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a contract agreement by and between the city of Washington, Missouri and Washington Boat Club and Echo Camp Electric Company for a new boat dock light along the Missouri River. Baird?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Solotrup?
Yes.
Patke?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Capsule?
Yes.
Heidrich?
Aye.
Coulter?
Yes.
By your vote, ordinance 7G passes.
Citizens' comments?
Folks, now is the time of the meeting. If you have comments about anything that is not on the agenda, please come up, state your name and where you live. Mike, please.
Good evening. I'm Mike McFatrich, 1514 First Parkway here in Washington. Fortunately, my understanding and what we've discussed earlier concerning the data centers seems to be moot, which is a good thing from my perspective, but I would hasten to add that in this whole process, if these are data centers, whether they're hyperscale, small, understanding that we have two already, if this does occur again, I would really think that it would be imperative to be as transparent as possible. And we have a lot of issues, we in the county have a lot of issues with NDAs, which have been signed on 2 data centers and zoning requirements. And all I would say is that I think it's imperative that this be a very transparent process. I don't know whether, obviously, what was cited in the paper concerning the size was relatively small, but they are stackable, and hyperscale data centers could exist if they are elevated in size with regard to their footprint. So I am heartened by the fact that it was a mistake, and we'll see what shakes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Hi, my name is Stephanie. I live at 1080 West 7th Street. And I want to thank you for your response to my email, Mr. Mayor.
It's well written.
I appreciate that. And I do want to preface my statement about the data centers by saying I do work in tech and at a local AI startup, no less. So I'm not a Luddite by any means. But I think from a public's perspective, it's been a whack-a-mole situation, And so my family lives in St. Charles, and there was the prospect of one giant one being built really close to my parents' house. And it feels like as soon as one gets put down, another one pops right back up. And then when you have NDAs, and I understand to some degree a company can't, especially a publicly traded company, might need certain amounts of discretion, but it's really scary, And so I think all this uproar, I think what would be helpful is maybe if the city considers some constraints ahead of time, so that for future projects that come in, we would know already that we're gonna maybe limit size, have industrial noise regulations, no tax breaks, no running generators 24/7, that kind of thing. But I think some really reasonable regulations could go a really long way. And I know in the county, St. Louis County, they were talking about classifying the size. And even in my own research for this conversation, I don't think there's a lot of really good conversation around what counts as hyperscale versus these other sizes. And I think in St. Louis County, what they're talking about is, you know, X number of acres means this versus this. And maybe some of the regulations are only imposed on bigger projects, or we just eliminate the option for bigger projects. So I just really appreciate your time in particular and the thoughtful response to the email.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hello, my name is Doug Eggers, and I live at 534 Crestfall Drive. Mayor and Council, on January 16th, 2024, this council discussed establishing a partnership with Flock Safety and their automatic license plate readers. Since that time, a lot of important information has come out about Flock Safety, who they are and what they do. I want to begin this by making something very clear. I support our police department, and I support giving officers effective tools to investigate crime and keep our community safe. I am asking the council to revisit the Flock camera partnership and automatic license plate reader policy in light of information that was not available when it was approved, and I will list some of those items. On January 16th, 2024, when that discussion was had, the idea was that the cameras only had access to still images of plates and not occupants. That may have been true then, but today Flock's platform goes further than that. Their patent US number 11416545B1 classifies as people by race, gender, height, and weight in a searchable database. They use this AI tool called Freeform to search for people by physical description. And they have introduced this tool called Raven. It's a microphone on the camera sold for gunshot detection. That now listens for human voices in distress. My point two is that there's many cases of documented loss of local control. These are government statements, not allegations of Flock going beyond allowed measures. In Mountain View, California, Flock enabled a nationwide setting without police knowledge. Federal agencies were able to access local data that the city did not approve of. In Cambridge, Massachusetts, Flock installed cameras after council ordered deactivation. The council ordered that for a breach of, or terminated every Flock camera in that town for a breach of trust. In Washington State, Border Patrol was able to access 10 departments' data that they never agreed, or those departments never agreed to share that data. My point three is security risks. These cameras are very hackable, and this is documented very well. There have been 22 confirmed vulnerabilities registered in the federal cybersecurity database. This is published by the NIST, part of the Department of Commerce, and cataloged in the National Vulnerability Database. These documented vulnerabilities show that these cameras can be taken over in no more than 30 seconds by anyone with a phone and the intent and know-how. Some of their Condor cameras have been found online without passwords, with live footage being broadcast on the internet viewable by anyone. Point four is governance and policy. No Missouri law requires a written plate reader policy right now. No say guardrails. Several cities have adopted policies voluntarily. To my knowledge, Washington has not. Flock continues to rewrite its contracts. Just earlier this year, there were 147 unilateral changes. In one of those, they deleted a key phrase. That phrase was, Flock does not own and shall not sell customer data. It's a pretty big one to change without, some sort of back and forth with the city. Missouri's Constitution explicitly protects electronic communications and data. As these systems become more powerful, oversight becomes more important. Because of these developments, I believe it is reasonable for residents to ask several basic governance questions. What measurable public safety benefits has the city actually realized with these cameras? What data is being collected and how long is it retained? Who can access it? Who can it be shared with? What safeguards exist against misuse? What independent oversight is in place? What contractual rights does the vendor have regarding the data and system operation? And how are the residents informed about these policies? So I'm not asking you to remove the four cameras around the city and the 3 in Lowe's parking lot. I'm asking to pause possible expansion and renewals until Washington has a written plate reader policy, retention capped at 30 days maximum by ordinance, no sharing without information outside of Washington PD without a council vote, a ban on audio sensors, an independent security assessment, no vendor changes without written authorization. 30+ cities have canceled since 2025. Amazon killed its Ring/Flock partnership earlier this year. You wouldn't approve a water treatment plant without an environmental assessment. I would urge you to not approve surveillance infrastructure without government controls. That's what I've got there. I've got some information I'd love to share with the council. Here are some legal analysis that I've created, and then here are a bunch of just some good info to have. And I've got fact checks for all my claims in there as well. So that's what I've got there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to come up? Okay.
City Administrator's report? I'm sorry, I skipped over Mayor's report.
A couple things, guys. Special council meeting, I guess it's this coming Monday, August 24th at 6 p.m. to set the tax levy, like we do every year. So, and the first council meeting in September will be Tuesday, September 8th.
Trash day.
Due to the Labor Day holiday. And Jeff, I'm not gonna be here.
It's a big trash day.
You got it.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. So
Thursday.
Day before trash.
Yes. Other than that, officers, thanks for coming. I appreciate it. Everybody else, thanks for attending the meeting. Okay.
City Administrator's report?
I just want to take the opportunity to thank the mayor and the council for giving me this opportunity. I am very impressed by the professionalism of the staff, how well the city operates, the processes and structures that are in place, and the day-to-day business is structured and the way it's structured and administered. It's clear that they have strong organization and leadership and dedication, and I look forward to supporting their continued work. So thank you, guys.
We're all counting on you.
No pressure.
Council comments?
Okay.
Just need a motion to adjourn, please.
Second.
By Barry, second by Patrick to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Call your boss, tell him to drive you, bro.